afternoon, everybody. Sorry we're late here. I'm happy to be back in town. Been on the road forever, and looking forward to this fight. Very pumped for obviously the co-main and main event on Saturday night. It's very rare in this sport where we get a true grudge match. We've seen a few. This is probably one of the biggest, which is crazy considering some of the ones that we've had in the past. Two former welterweight champions, Matt Hughes and Matt Serra. No surprise, these two do not like each other at all. They've both literally been healing up, resting up, and waiting for this fight. And the main event for the light heavyweight title on Saturday night, first time in UFC history that two undefeated fighters have faced off of the title. So first of all, let me bring up, obviously, like I said, big grudge match. These two do not like each other. They've made it very clear, not only in the press, but to each other face to face, how they feel when they were coaches on The Ultimate Fighter. And finally, we are here and get to see Matt Hughes and Matt Serra. And I don't even think any of the fans or anybody is more excited than they are for this fight. Former welterweight champion, Matt the Terror Serra. Come on up here, Matt.
Put this down a little bit. What can I say? It's been a long time. I was devastated when we were supposed to fight the first time, and I'm just happy it's finally happening. I feel like I've been training forever for this fight. It's been a 3-month camp. I'm in phenomenal shape. Man, what else could I say? Yeah, we don't like each other. That's evident. I'll answer all those. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of those when I'm sitting down, so I'll answer all your questions and, you know, whatever you got, you know. It's funny, though, because I saw during the promo, I saw both Hughes and one of his trainers. They said that I'll be looking across the cage fight night, and I'll be, oh, man, you know, thinking, what did I get myself into? But believe me, there's no place on the planet I would rather be than staring across the cage from Matt Hughes on Saturday night. Thank you.
Greatest champions in UFC history, former welterweight champion, Matt Hughes.
Well, thank you everybody for coming out to the press conference here. Trying to be a man of few words today and this weekend, so I want to thank all the support. I got to say I'm very healthy for this fight. I had a great training camp, and my body has really worked with me and been injury-free. So I'm definitely 100% for this fight, mentally and physically. And once again, thanks for everybody, and thanks UFC for probably putting this fight together.
Lyoto Machida, he's one of the guys when we acquired the WFA. There's two contracts that we wanted. One was Lyoto Machida's, the other was Rampage Jackson. That's why we bought that company. You know, this guy's been a talented fighter. The list of guys he's beat are the who's who of mixed martial arts. He has an amazing style, something that nobody's ever seen before. We just started doing all these different stats on the fights, and Lyoto Machida's stat is he's the least hit fighter in MMA history. I think he only gets hit once every 1.5 rounds, or every 2.5 rounds, something like that. Every 2.5 rounds, I think, he gets hit. This guy's very hard to touch. You know, there's been a lot of talk about his fights being a little slow because he's such a counterpuncher in the way that he moves. But the reality is, here's the reality: Lyoto Machida's been finishing fights lately. Lyoto Machida, I said it before, I think once this guy, you know, there's always what we call the UFC jitters. When guys get in the UFC, there's the nerves, you know, the big crowds, the different energy in the UFC than any other show they've ever fought in. And I said once this kid gets over that and starts to feel like this is his home, I think you're going to see him turn it up and start to finish fights, and that's what he's done. Destroyed Sokaju, destroyed Anderson Silva, dropped Tito with a knee, loved it. Ladies and gentlemen, Lyoto Machida.
Good afternoon. I'm very excited and I'm looking forward for this fight. I'll try to finish this fight before the end. Thank you. All
right, Rashad Evans, Season 2 winner of The Ultimate Fighter, actually in the heavyweight division. moved down to 205 pounds. And I think he is the one who has fought the most ever on The Ultimate Fighter. That's how much people didn't believe in Rashad Evans. I even said it in season 2. I didn't expect him to win it. And let me tell you what, this kid has proved everybody wrong over and over and over and over again. He, the amazing fighter that he's turned into, came on the show, started as a wrestler, and next thing you know, he's in the UFC, knocking people out with head kicks, knocking people out with his hands. Every time he comes out and fights, he's got an unbelievable chin. You know, was in there banging with heavyweights. It's unbelievable what this kid has accomplished in such a short amount of time. He's an explosive, incredible athlete, and he's going to come in my opinion, the guy who wins this fight on Saturday night is without a doubt the best 205-pounder in the world. Obviously, Rampage Jackson is still hanging out there, but these two right now, in my opinion, are the two best in the world. And the guy who comes out with the belt on Saturday night will be not only the UFC light heavyweight champion, but the best 205-pounder in the world. But ladies and gentlemen, Rashad Evans.
First and foremost, I'm very excited to be here. I'm very thankful to be here. Every time you get, you know, a main event and you get to fight somebody very talented, it's always a blessing. And I'm very blessed to be on the card with, you know, two also great fighters, Matt Serra and Matt Hughes. You know, Matt Hughes, you know, what can be said, you know, this guy defended the title probably more than anybody. And that's what I hope to do. You know, I just, you know, but tomorrow, I mean, Saturday is my first step. And I got to fight a tough fighter in front of me, Machida. You know, he's on his game, and we're going to see what happens, but, you know, I'm definitely going to win. So thank you guys for coming out and watch the show on Saturday.